What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as Ridemyavatar, and today we're going to be going over none other than my blue Azulongmon hybrid deck. Well, it's just blue hybrid stun with a couple tech cards, and I really want to go over it because I had a really good run during the 3v3 and then practicing against a lot of local players. My deck done really well, and I really want to show it off to you guys. So let's dive right into the video and talk about it. So let's start it off, boys and girls. Let's get into the deck profile, shall we? First off, we have one Kyaromon. So this card is really nice. So when one of your opponent's Digi-Evolution cards is trash, trigger draw one. There's many effects in this deck that benefit actually from this trashing effect that'll help us in the long game. So I really do like having Kyaromon in this deck because triggering the draw one really does help out at times, but it's not as effective as, say, our big boy here, Upamon. Upamon really does some good work because when attacking, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digi-Evolution cards in play, trigger draw one, the likelihood of this card activating is really good. So we're able to draw cards consistently because we're going to be stripping sources anyway, and they won't have a lot to work with. So I'm pretty happy with this list. Next, we do play none other than 4 BT4 Strabimon. 4 BT4 Strabimon is really clutch in this deck, and let me explain. So first off, on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add one Digimon card with hybrid in its form and or blue Digimon tamer among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So allowing us to +2 in some situations is really good. Sometimes he'll just be Digi-Evolution fodder, and that's fine. As long as he gets us a couple cards for doing what his job is, I don't mind. Digi-Evolution for 0, 1 card. If Upamon does what it needs to, we get multiple cards. So I can really say I'm pretty psyched about it. Next, we do have 4 Strabimon. So if this Digimon has hybrid or 10 warriors in its form or type, gain 1 memory when attacking. This one came from BT6. It was very underlooked a little bit, but I gotta say it's a really good card in this deck because if you think about it, it allows you to gain memory and allow you to extend your plays, which that's what we kind of want to do in this deck, is extend our plays and continue our turns without any interruptions. So that's why we play it. Next, we do play Strabimon. So this is a new Strabimon. So on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 card with hybrid in traits or Susano or Koji to your among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. On deletion, you may play 1 Koji from your hand without paying its memory cost. This effect does not matter at all. To be honest with you, it's a +1 if it does go off. But it's the revealing the top 4, at least he can plus us 1 in some occasions, and I don't mind that, digging a little deeper at times. So it's not terrible. It just works. I think it's in here because he is a Strabimon. Until we get something better, there might not be anything worthwhile. Then we have ModokiBetamon. So you might be wondering where the Pokemons are. This card just, I don't want to play it because if you sit there and just lock down Pokemon turn after turn and they either just leave it on the board and you have a ModokiBetamon, especially in certain matchups, unless you can remove it, you're screwed. You're just sitting there with a Pokemon that's just literally gaining them pressure in the mirror match, or you're gaining them value that you don't have a way of getting rid of it until later. So again, all turns your opponent can't gain memory except with tamer effects. So I don't mind the shutting them off. That's why I rather shut off my opponent's Pokemons instead of letting them have access to them. So that's kind of our level 3 slots. And now let's go into our level 4s. Level 4s is quite interesting. It's a very small pool, but it works. And let me explain. So we have Kumamon here. So this is Tommy, basically hybrid form. So you may Digivolve this card from your hand onto one of your blue tamers if the tamer was a level 3 blue Digimon. When Digivolving, trash one card from your bottom of your opponent's Digimon sources. This allows you to set up and trigger a lot of your effects. Upamon is now live. If you trash something, Kyaromon will activate and draw you a card. A lot of these other effects in our deck will now go off and shut them and stun them out. So yeah, we're just going to be playing Blue Central here. And then we have 4 Korikakumon. This card here, really good, really nasty. Main reason is you may Digivolve this card from your hand onto one of your blue tamers as if the tamer is a level 3 blue Digimon for a cost of 2. If this card with Hybrid in trait or Tommy is in the Digi-Evolution card, one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digi-Evolution swords cannot attack or block until the end of next turn. So, worst case, he costs you 2. Let me rephrase that. Worst case, he costs you 3. Best case, he costs you 1. And the reason why I say that is because if you even just go this Strabimon here or this Strabimon here, Digivolve it on top of a Kumamon, and then go into a Korikaku after that, you're still gaining some advantage and you get like a couple draws out of that. So just keep that in mind. Like, it's just great source removal, and being able to shut down, remove a source, do this X, Y, Z, just really does help out, and effects go off like repetitively. I think this is a really good solid contender. Then we have Kendo Gurumon himself. So the reason why we play him is he is a great hybrid target. So you may Digivolve this card from your hand on one of your tamers as if the tamer is a level 3 blue Digimon, and for a memory cost 2. And then when Digivolving, if you have a Digimon with hybrid in its traits or Koji in the Digi-Evolution card, this Digimon gains jamming. So allowing you to swing in and not worry about this thing dying could really win you the game in some instances, and it just really does help out. Now we do play 4 Beowolfmon. 4 Beowolfmon really is nasty. And let me explain this. You don't need anything more after you have Beowolfmon. So I'll do a little bit of comboing at the end and I'll show you. When one of your Digimon with a tamer in his Digi-Evolution card Digivolves into this card in your hand, reduce the memory cost of that by 2. So he becomes a 1 cost if you have a tamer underneath any of your hybrids. Ridiculous. But when attacking, you may return one of your hybrids in its traits from this Digi-Evolution card to your hand to return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to its owner's hand. Trash all of their Digi-Evolution cards that Digimon had. So he's going to bounce you stuff. If you go Tamer into Kumamon, into Korikaku, into Beowolfmon, that's 2 turns of bounce. Always grab your Korikakus and then grab your Kumas. You have ways of removing sources other ways, but just after you remove the initial source, you want to be able to just keep stunning. So Korikaku is a high target to keep bouncing back and refilling your hand. So keep that in mind, that you want to keep doing that. Now we do going into the Megas. We have 2 Megas right now. Got MagnaGarurumon. So MagnaGarurumon's really nasty. I'm going to be quite honest with you. So let's see if we can get this to focus. Sorry about that. There we go. When Digivolving, when attacking, so either one of these effects go off. So when Digivolving, you may return one of your hybrids in its traits from your Digi-Evolution cards to your hand to return one of your opponent's Digimon with the same level as this card to the owner's hand. Trash all Digi-Evolution cards to that Digimon. But also, once per turn, when an effect adds a card to your hand, unsuspend this Digimon. So let's say you swung in with Beowolfmon, now Digivolve into MagnaGarurumon. MagnaGarurumon restands himself by bouncing back. Let's even just say you need the Beowolfmon back to hand. Congratulations, you just now replenished all your stock, and you have now a MagnaGarurumon that restood, and they'll have to either physically target it, or you'll just keep swinging. Just very nasty. Then we do play one Azulongmon. So this could possibly be seen switch to maybe a Hexablaumon. I think Azulongmon's really good and nasty in most cases, but when Digivolving, trash one card from the bottom of all your opponent's Digimon, then gain one memory from each of your opponent's Digimon with no Digi-Evolution sources. And then for each Digimon with no Digi-Evolution cards your opponent has in play, this Digimon gets security +1. Being able to swing and clear out multiple securities is why I favored him a little bit into the deck build, but he could be easily replaced. And that's just because he's an earlier semi-strong Suzanomon in certain circumstances, but we also have Suzanomon. Suzanomon is, you may Digivolve this card from your hand on to one of your tamers as if the tamer was a level 6 Digimon by placing 10 tamers and or hybrids from their traits from your hand or trash at the bottom of your deck in any order. He has 3 security checks, and then when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. He is a nasty motherfucker. So I'm not joking. I love this card, but I've never came to anywhere close to actually resolving it. I've never needed to. It's just source removal, source removal, source removal, and clear, clear, clear. I don't know if that validates things or invalidates things, but I just like having options to get myself out. So if it ever got to that point where it just justifies it. Let's go over the tamer package, shall we? So first off, 4 of the most broken tamer that this set brought out. And that is because, 1, Tommy is a little nasty brat. So play this card without paying its memory cost and security, but on play, trash 3 cards from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimons, instantly feeling its cost for you to just Digivolve right into Korikaku and shut off your opponent. And then when attacking until the opponent's end of their next turn, one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digi-Evolutions cannot attack or block. He is constantly just locking things down as long as they survive. So as long as we can keep them up and going, they're going to survive, and your opponent has nothing else to do but cry in a corner. So that's how that's going to work. And just keep that in mind. Then we also play 3 Sora and Joe Kido. Now, since we are just ripping sources out, why not play the tamer that gains the most advantage out of that? At the start of your turn, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digi-Evolutions in play, gain 2 memory. And then when an attack with a blue Digimon, you may suspend this tamer. If you do, trash 2 sources from the Digi-Evolution from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. Basically play it without paying its memory cost, is its on play, but I gotta say, I really do like being able to trash sources and gain memory out of it. Sometimes that's just enough. I can go to 7. If I get to 7, my opponent is not playing this game. I win the game because I'm constantly just punishing you. And then we have 2 Kojis. Koji is really good because, like, you're ever going to get his effect off, but play this card without paying its memory cost. Once per turn, you may place 5 cards with hybrid in their traits from among them from your hand under this tamer in any order to Digivolve this Digimon into MagnaGarurumon. If you have in your hand for its Digi-Evolution cost, if a tamer is a level 5 blue Digimon. Really cool. But also, when an effect adds a card from your hand, gain 1 memory, then this Digimon cannot be blocked for the turn. Shutting off blockability is huge because they can't stop you. And you gain 1 memory from tamer effect. So that means they can't stop it with the ModokiBetamon because it's a tamer effect. Actually, no, that is not a tamer effect. Sorry about that. That's my bad. They can shut it off with a ModokiBetamon, because it's technically a Digimon effect now, not a Tamer effect. Sorry about that. Do not listen to that. We got Davis in here, the last 2 Tamer. So Davis sets our memory to 3, and it's still one of the best Tamers in existence. Reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 blue or green Digimon a card from among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. There's no reason not to take a plus, right? Right. We're just gonna plus for days. And then you might call me a madman. You might call me a little crazy, but I play 4 Hammer Sparks. Why not? Extend my place. Extend everything I do. And then make my opponent cry in a corner. So 4 Hammer Sparks. Extend the place. And then we have 3 Howling Memory Boosters. 3 Howling Memory Boosters is nasty. So trash up to 2 Digimon cards from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digi-Evolution cards cannot attack or block until the end of opponent's next turn. Then place this in the battle area, gaining 2 memory. Let me just shut down my opponent's plays for a turn. More, you know, just do what we need to, trash the sources. And then shut them down. What is the worst case scenario? They don't swing at you for a turn. And you just keep it up. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't hit me no more. Then finally 1 Ice Wall. Now, all your opponent's Digimon gain when attacking lose 2 memory until the end of next turn. Yes, it got restricted. But still means you just can't willy-nilly slap down an Ice Wall and call it a day. No, you want to punish your opponent for trying to Ice Wall you and just go from there. They're going to not be able to play around some of these effects, and that's kind of all you have to do. You just really punish your opponent all straight out. So guys, what do you think of my deck list? Do you think I really did well with this? I went undefeated over a 3-3-3, and then I played 6 other games, and I still was ripping and stunning. This is blue stun for you in a nutshell. This card deck is really strong. It just does what it needs to, and I'm excited for it, and I love this deck. So guys, let me know down in the comments, what do you think? And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace!